I got a big goddamn problem with the news. You ready for this? The news is completely manipulated. Everything you hear every single day is designed by corporate media to do one thing and one thing only. To keep you living in fear. Total fear. Fear so you'll go out and you'll spend money on things. Things you probably don't even need. Things you probably already have six of, so that their advertisers will keep buying ads on their stations. I'll tell you one more thing. You ready for this? I'll do this all day, man.
The Qibla in the Torah is Jerusalem. And that was our Qibla as well, until Allah changed the law and gave us a new Qibla while they still have their old Qibla. And that was our Qibla as well, until Allah changed the law and gave us a new Qibla while they still have their old Qibla. And Allah says, you must follow your Qibla and they must follow their Qibla. This is in the Quran. So that Qibla still has validity, and this one has validity, but Washington is not a Qibla. All you have to do is open your eyes and watch and you will see. Unfortunately, I have my eyes open. I am seeing that Russia is transforming itself before our eyes. And Russia has become the dominant military power in the world already in my lifetime. And Russia has set a standard, an ethical standard high, far superior than all the Muslim countries, where they chop up people and they burn their bodies and then tell a mountain of lies about them. In Russia, the law prohibits a man marrying another man and getting a marriage certificate. Not in our part of the world, they said, not in 1,000 years. And there are many other things you are seeing in Russia that you don't see even in the Muslim world. Russia has banned genetically modified food. No GM food in Russia. Do you know any Muslim country? Before you start comparing yourself with Russia and putting on the mantle of superiority. Do you know any Muslim country which has banned GM food? Russia has banned genetically modified food. So it's not for us to identify them. You will see when Allah raised them and they win the war which is coming, and then they become the dominant force in the world. And those of you who are discomforted at that time, too bad for you, because I will be celebrated. Zulkarnain is someone who belongs to two ages, not two horns. The Quran is speaking of two ages. In one age, before the barrier was built, power rested on the foundations of faith in the region of the Black Sea. And that power was used in such a way that it punished the oppressor and it respected the faith of those who had faith and treated them nicely and rewarded them. And that same power was used to contain Gog and Magog behind the barrier. The Quran is saying that there's going to be a repetition. This will happen one more time. That power will once again rest on the foundations of faith. Zul Qarnain, Qarnain, two Qarns. And when that power rests on the foundations of faith, you will find it in the region of the Black Sea, Ainun Hamiyah. So when you see power returning to the region of the Black Sea, and that power is resting on the foundations of faith, this is the Qarnain, the second of the two Qarns. And this power now in the region of the Black Sea will again do what it did the first time. It will punish the oppressor. And it will treat those who have faith and whose conduct is righteous, treat them nicely and protect them and reward them. And it will checkmate Gog and Magog one more time. So I never asked, who was Zulkarnain the first time? I never asked. They were saying it is Cyrus and it is this and that, but not me. I never attempted to identify any human being as Zulkarnain. So why should I do it the second time? Rather, I identified a people, an age. and I describe that age to you. You have to recite the Quran from cover to cover, at least once a month, and that is the key to study the Quran. Without this key, forget it, you won't be able to study the Quran. Teach your children to recite the Quran in Arabic from cover to cover. So every day they're going to pick up the Quran and recite it. And try to complete the Quran once a month. The next step after that will be to seek to understand what you're reciting. And I have been astonished to find Arabs, yes, Arabs, Algerians, Moroccans, Tunisians, and they can't recite the Quran. And if you recite a verse of the Quran to them, they cannot understand. Because we are speaking a language which they call Arabic, which even Nabi Muhammad ﷺ will not be able to understand when he comes. They have disrespected a language created by Allah Himself, with their Algerian colloquial and their Moroccan colloquial and their this colloquial, and this one cannot understand that one and that one cannot understand that one. That's what they've done with the Arabic language. So you have to now learn the language sufficiently to be able to understand what you are reciting. That's the second stage. But there's a third stage after that, and that's the stage where you can fall in love. If you've never fallen in love with the Quran, my gosh, what have you lost? You will fall in love with the Quran on the day when you begin to study it. Reciting it is one thing. Reading it to understand it is a second thing. But studying the Quran is something quite different. You need the proper methodology to study the Quran, and they don't have that in the Darul Uloom. I have a book at the back which I've simplified it. Methodology for study of the Quran. Why is it? Why? That Allah is giving me these insights into the Quran that they don't get. Why? Because I am using a different methodology from them. If you study the Quran and you search in the Quran for what Allah can provide you as knowledge and guidance with which to protect yourself from Dajjal, then you can be successful. The Quran can be the means through which you can succeed. The army which is to conquer Constantinople, who will you fight against? Answer: you will fight those who do not want Hagia Sophia to be returned to the Christians. Whoever you are, whether you are Shia or you are Sunni, if you are resisting the oppressor, you are my brother. Don't come to me with your sectarian divide. If you are Shia and you are resisting the oppressor, you are my brother. And if you are Sunni and you're turning in the direction of Washington as your Qibla, you can't be my brother. The Great War is not the last war, because you have the conquest of Constantinople after the Great War. But once Imam al-Mahdi liberates the whole Arabia, there will be no Pakistan. There will be no Pakistan army, so I don't know what you're talking about. Because our leader will no longer be the president of the Islamic Republic and the prime minister of this and that and state. Our leader will be Imam al-Mahdi, okay? So there's no more Pakistan and Pakistan army at that time. So there's no more Pakistan and Pakistan army at that time.
Humanity is our virtue. I know who I am and what I'm here to do.